Piccolo has got to be one of the most humiliated characters in all of Dragon Ball. Now, when you think of Dragon Ball characters getting humiliated, you most likely think of characters such as General Tao or Pilaf's fraud ass who hasn't caught a dub since day one. But in my opinion, the biggest way to really humiliate a character is to make them something. Something to be feared, something to be wary of, something to be envious of when walking by a Nike shoe store. Then to take that character and downgrade them so hard that they are now stuck in an endless aura farming debt. That is Piccolo. Piccolo has got to be one of the most unique characters in all of Dragon Ball, because despite him being written off to the side of irrelevancy a long time ago, time and time again, he has managed to weasel himself back into the story. But it took a long time for Piccolo to get there, so why don't we take a quick trip down memory lane? Piccolo used to be a fatherless child. Ever since his father left to get the Fairlife milk, Piccolo has been out on his own. Fast forward a bit, and he finally meets Goku at the World Tournament and mistakes him for being his baby daddy. So he expresses his love for his long-lost father in the only way he knows how. His father would be so proud. Well, anyway, Goku still wins the fight thanks to his IKEA-hardened head. Luckily for Piccolo, Goku is on his certified wholesome arc, and killing orphans is just a bit above his pay grade. No, genuine question, why do people point to Cell killing the army as a certified badass moment when Kid Goku did it decades prior? I'm just saying, Cell had to take inspiration from somewhere. Well, anyway, Piccolo does what he does best. Aura farms. For over 7 years. Until a new vegetable arrives in the supermarket. Radish. Feeling his sense of superiority, Piccolo falls to his knees and gives up the aura points that he's been farming for the past 7 years like it's his lunch money. Don't worry, this will definitely not be a reoccurring thing. But we know that Piccolo can't take that disrespect lying down, so he recruits Goku. And together with the power of friendship, they manage to put Radish back into the ground where he belongs. Unfortunately, there are other vegetables on the block that must be dealt with. So to keep the cycle of trauma flowing strong in the Goku family, the orphan abducts the non-orphan to teach him the value of aura farming. But along the way, Piccolo finds a new meaning to his life. Being a third grader in this first grader's world meant that he could instill his wisdom onto the next generation. In the meantime though, they need to deal with the organic vegetables on the supermarket. And though Piccolo manages to get a few licks in, he unfortunately forgot to warm up and drink his protein shake in the anabolic window approximately 39 seconds after his workout like his glorious King V-Shred told him to. But in his defense, he was 9. But Piccolo has been training for this and realizes that though he may die, the knowledge of the third grader must live on through Gohan no matter what. Damn. Nappa really killed a 9-year-old. Fast forward a bit more, Piccolo gets revived with the Dragon Balls. And through rigorous training and absolutely no bullshit power-ups later, he goes toe-to-toe with Frieza. Oh, also just for some basic context, Frieza has single-handedly cooked every Namekian with the exception of one village. A people that Piccolo didn't even know he belonged to a few minutes ago is now his driving force for vengeance. Unfortunately for Namekian, the second form KSI-2 is released on the Discovery Channel. And if you know anything about the Discovery Channel, it's that the cameraman never dies. However, I don't see no GoPro on Piccolo, so he's cooked. After all the aura farming that he's done over the past few months, just to get overtaken by a first grader, feels bad, man. If it wasn't obvious by this point, Piccolo is now a part of the Z-Gang squad and is low-key chill like that. Even despite being written off to the side for the rest of this fight, he still manages to get a few licks in before he's written off completely. And after they return to Earth, Piccolo goes back to what he does best. Holy shit, this is boring. A few years later, Piccolo actually starts having a comeback. He's not exactly the strongest character in the series at this point, but he's very close to it. he's at least on par with Goku and the rest of the Super Saiyans. In fact, bro is so strong that he could single-handedly mollywop an elderly man from the nursing home without even breaking a sweat. Unfortunately, Piccolo has a severe weakness: twink femboy park rangers. But if there is anything that we know about Piccolo at this point, it's that he may be down, but he is certainly not out. So he does what he does best. Well, second best. Getting another bullshit power-up. Hey, he can't go to the mountains to Aura Farm. Vegeta's too busy throwing a fit over losing to a dishwasher. Well, anyway, with this newfound power comes a new threat, which has the potential to be even greater than the femboy park rangers. A giant, tail-sucking bug. But the reason I say potential is because despite this buggy boy getting a few licks in, quite literally, Piccolo still gets the upper hand and manages to not only surround it, but Aura Farm on it. Oh my god, my boy's finally paying off his debt! Unfortunately, absolutely no one in this series carries fucking sunglasses or hands that can cover their eyes, so the bug gets away. Meanwhile, the femboy park ranger along with his gang of clankers are out and about traveling the world in a candy van. But they eventually get bored of that and decide that they want to fight Goku, cause why not? However, Piccolo steps up to the occasion. He has aura farmed for years. He has lost it time and time again. It has only been recently that he managed to at least temporarily gain it all back by becoming the strongest Z fighter around and by performing that 6-spin kick on the buggy boy. But now is finally the time to put it to the test. So he takes the clankers to the shower mountain and begins running hands. This fight has got to be one of my favorite performances from Piccolo of all time. This fight is nothing but pure hands, and I absolutely love it. Even if Piccolo wasn't technically gonna win this fight, it's nice to be reminded every so often why this man was the absolute GOAT back in the day. But unfortunately, this high is followed by a devastating low. The Bugman shows up again, stronger than ever, and Piccolo can do nothing to recover his aura farming debt, and he gets a hole shot into him, all a part of the family tradition. 7 years later, this truly is the mark in which Piccolo's downfall begins. Because at least in the Cell games, he managed to hold his own against the Cell Juniors, which is something even the Vegetables and Trunks were struggling to do. In the World Tournament, however, Piccolo manages to undo 7 years worth of aura farming in a matter of minutes. It starts with this broccoli head, supreme fraud. And when you are first introduced to this guy, you might think that he's hot shit. He's got Piccolo quivering in his G7s, and Piccolo is no pushover as we know, but unfortunately, as we come to learn later, Shin ain't shit! The literal only thing he managed to do was tell the Z fighters about Buu existence and literally nothing else. He is the most useless, incompetent, and uneducated guardian of the universe I have ever seen. Kami gave his life to allow Piccolo to run the ones with a park ranger femboy. The old Kai gave his life so that Goku could get revived. Kibito is Bulma's personal Uber delivery guy. But what exactly does Shin do? Nothing! Literally nothing! And you're telling me that Piccolo didn't even want to fight this guy when he stepped into the ring with him just because of his massive presence? When has this ever been an issue for Piccolo? He does not give a shit. He will run the Fade any day of the week with anyone, and he does not care. There is a reason that this bro was compared to a literal demon. Oh, but it gets worse. Because then he becomes a teenage babysitter for little shit number 1 and little shit number 2. And my god, I have never seen anybody lose so much aura so quickly. Well, maybe his movie counterpart is doing better. Krillin, please! Take my fit, take my money! What mercy? Take my kids, take my jeans too! Well, that seems to be going great. So Piccolo decides to temporarily retire from being a babysitter from Care.com to fight in the Tournament of Power. Yes, he does literally nothing before this, and the Universe 6 saga doesn't count. I mean, he could have easily started a clothing line and made some bank in the meantime. I mean, you could literally create clothes from nothing and probably put Nike out of business, but You do you, Piccolo. But finally, my glorious king has the chance to return to his original fighting glory and reclaim his aura! Why do I even try? After all the disrespect, after all the heartache, after all the bullshit, Piccolo finally gets his get back. With a sponsorship from Fanta! That's right! The drink that tastes like hot, steamy mistakes and orange coloring, don't ask how I know, is finally in possession of my glorious King Piccolo, who achieved this through yet another bullshit power-up. But at this point, I don't even care. We need to start an aura farming GoFundMe for this guy at this point. And with this sponsorship, Piccolo once again regains the confidence to take on clankers. Unfortunately, this victory is pretty short-lived when he gets his ass beaten by the same Bugman who started his downfall in the first place. How fucking poetic. And basically nothing happens for Piccolo and Daima. Oh, and he loses his Fanta sponsorship to Freddy Fazbear. This guy cannot have a single fucking thing in the series. So, what does this mean for Piccolo? Will he ever get out of his aura farming debt? Will he finally have a full get back without being used as a metaphorical and literal punching bag? I guess only time will tell. And when Dragon Ball Super releases in the year 2050, I'll be right there, cheering my boy Piccolo on to reclaim the aura that rightfully belongs to him. Thanks for watching.